Okay.
Okay,
And
we're
fingers
recording.
crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right, we're recording now. So this is a test. Hold on. Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Countless Vlogcast, episode 31. I'm here with Ty and Hannah, two authors. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, doing great. It's a bright sunny day in Georgia.
Okay, great. Thank you guys for coming. So tell us a little about yourselves and your work.
You first.
So I'm Tyler Kennedy. I'm in the Air Force. I've been in for almost a decade now. I do computer networking for the service, and basically I install and set up the internet so that the entire military can use that and do the mission that they need to. And also, I'm an author, of course.
My name is Hannah Kennedy.
She's autistic.
Okay.
She's an author too. She's been really working on these writing because it really helps her with her mental state and helping her express herself.
That's great. So how long you guys been writing for?
So I've been writing since I was a kid, just off and on, because I've always loved storytelling. So short stories, poems, and all that kind of stuff. But, recently with the quarantine, I was able to finally sit down and actually have all the time in the world to just write and get better at it and learn the process and stuff like that.
I've been writing since Babe started his first book.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So what genre do you guys specialize in of writing?
So we started off with just poetry, and now we're kind of evolving into fiction, fantasy, kind of type realm, maybe a little bit of science fiction in there. Just kind of depends, because we kind of like to go into all genres, not just stick to one. It's kind of whatever the story fits. She likes to write romance.
Romance, poetry, a little bit of erotica, but mainly romance and yeah.
Okay, great. So talk about a little about your recent work you've done, like published.
My most recent book is
Comic-Con Love.
Okay, great.
It's the fictionalized love story of us, kind of how we met, but in her own fictionalized version.
Wow, amazing. Okay.
And my most recent work is called The Clock Towers, a novelette of sleeping through time. It's about a guy who, when he falls asleep, he actually travels through time. So he never really gets to live a life of his own because he's always traveling to another person's body into a different place of time every time he falls asleep.
That sounds the opposite of Van Winkle. That sounds like an amazing story. So that's very cool and very futuristic.
My first actual book that I published in paperback and Kindle is my life story, Beauty Corn, about my struggles and triumphs with
Autism.
Okay, great. So who are some of your guys' influences in terms of like authors and writers you like inspire you?
He inspires me.
Same thing here, but my favorite authors have been Stephen King, J.K. Rowling, Cassandra Clare, H.G. Wells. I kind of always love that fantasy type, building a world, but also telling a very meaningful story. Stephen King is a huge impact on me because I always like to write in type of that kind of style, those kind of stories where they're very imaginative, but they also tell something very emotional, something that you can connect with. So those are kind of my influences. I mean, of course, she's been my inspiration for continuing to write, even when I have a bad day. She's there, and I see her writing, even though I'm struggling. So she's my inspiration too.
So, like, what's your process of writing to like publishing too? So you guys like use like blank paper, or do you have like ideas and you like write as you go, or how do you guys like go about your writing?
So each novel is kind of a little different, but a lot of it just an idea pops in my head, and I'll pull out like either my phone or a sticky note, and I'm writing down like the idea, and then maybe like little things I want to add into it, or something about a character, or little plot points I could throw into the story. And then from there, I have it really in my head, and I just sit down at the computer and I just start typing up whatever comes out. And then from there, it's looking at the plot points and kind of going, all right, what else do I need to do? How can I expand on it? And usually when I'm writing, more stuff even comes in. And so it was a long process. I used to outline, like heavily outline everything, but I've kind of taken the approach of Stephen King, which is more I have an idea and I just kind of write and I have like little things I want to get to, but I don't necessarily like plot out every little detail. I have free flowing, which inspires even more ideas, and I kind of let the story dictate where it goes.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, I've heard the same thing from other authors too. It's like like nowadays too, with self-publishing too. It's like just get the story out there too. You know, like have like maybe do a few edits here and there, but like if you really want to do it, just like do it instead of like having like a plan, instead of just like waiting. Just like just write, you know, because you never know. We were inspired. So in terms of like branding and promoting your books, how do you guys go about that?
So branding, I have my pen name mcleod. That's who I write under. So I have my own website, my own Facebook page. So that's kind of my branding right there. And we do Amazon ads, Facebook ads. We're trying to do some of these interviews. We try to just engage with our audience. We're in a local bookstore here, so we're kind of going locally, trying to get our books out there. She writes under H.R. Kennedy.
That's my name, H.R. Kennedy, because my name's Hannah Ray Kennedy.
And so we she goes on, she has her own pages and things like that. And we've also started our own publishing company last Saturday because we want to be able to publish under our own publishing groups. That way it gives more legitimacy, but it's also a way for us to remain control of our books itself and not just, giving it out there. We have our own ISBNs, and our goal with that is to, in a year or two, once we get the process down, help other authors publish their books, because that way we can kind of guide them through all the things that we've learned and all the troubles that we may have wasted money or time on that we're like, oh, we don't want you to go down that, and help them with the formatting, the editing, all the little things that aren't writing, the publishing process. We really want to be able to bring that to other people because we struggle with it now. We're still trying to learn the ins and outs. So our goal is to make it so that no one else has to kind of suffer the way we do, and they can just write their stories and they have the right kind of help to get their stories out there.
And I do like interviews, and I put it on free promote pages and my YouTube channel and my Instagram.
Awesome. That's definitely the way to go nowadays. Like video, people like see your face and hear your voice and actually hear what the story is about too, so they can connect with you even more too. Because even with paper too, you can connect like use your imagination more. But if you have people like real people like interviews is more authentic, you know. So in terms of like two-part question, in terms of what are you going to accomplish now and how the quarantines affect your creativity?
So what we want to accomplish is to get our stories out there, to get people to read them, because that's kind of our whole goal. That's why we're writing. It's not about the money. It's about the fact that we want people to read our stories and have that emotional connection that we do with all the other authors. You know, like J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter. When I was a kid, was like I was engrossed. It was like it touched me in such a beautiful way, and I want to be able to do that, and so does she with our stories, that someone can get lost into it.
And to help.
Yeah, and to help people, like with her story with autism, and so it's try to inspire other people to have the same kind of problems or mental or disabilities, to kind of learn that, hey, it's okay. Like you can have that and still go out there and accomplish things. Like she's writing books now, and she's struggles with her mental state every day. And I have extreme anxiety, so I'm still doing these things despite, the things that bother us or try to hold us down.
Yeah. It's definitely a great outlet too. It's like art is always a great outlet for everybody, So.
Yeah,
and also with the quarantine, how does it affect your creativity? Have you been writing more or learning more different processes?
Oh yeah, ever since the quarantine started, it's been nice. That's why we started writing, because we're like, well, we have all this time now, so there's no excuse to not be able to write or let things get away. You have all this time, you might as well put down the effort, and that really helped jumpstart the process. Because if we didn't have that time in the beginning, I don't know if we would have been able to learn the business or learn how to write with a full-time job and all that kind of stuff. But having the job on hold, it was like, okay, this can be my full-time job, and I could put a lot more initially. So you get that momentum going that you're like, okay, I got through some of the hurdles, and now even with a full-time job coming back into focus, I can now balance the two because it's not starting from scratch.
Definitely, that's great. So who's your audience in terms of like your audience you want to like adhere to and inspire? Like age-wise and demographics?
My audience is anyone who struggles and with mental disabilities or physical disabilities, but especially mental disabilities, and to help them. And anyone who has someone in their family who has it. Yeah.
And mine is kind of the same, but it's meant for, I think I'm aiming for more of an adult audience,
Mhm.
so I can tell some of the more emotional stories that you maybe not be able to
Yeah.
tell with young adult books. Because I initially was going to go for the young adult audience, but then as I started writing, I realized that the stories I was writing were more for people that were older in age, like in their 20s and 30s and all that stuff, that could relate some to some more of those issues and more of those life experiences, like uh, cancer or all those things that you really don't understand when you're younger. You don't really have that experience.
Definitely.
And two of my books are like my Comic-Con Love has 2 scenes that are not appropriate for children, and my erotica book. So those 2 are designed for older people.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Definitely sounds amazing. So, what's been the feedbacks from your books so far? What's been like the best and I guess the worst feedback from your books?
I've been told that my book's been helping people, and they said thank you for the book and thank you for sharing your story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been great
Cool.
positive feedback for her. She posts on like a group for people with disabilities, and they read her story and they're like, wow, you like inspired me. You made me realize that I don't have to be defined by my my disability. I can go out there and do some great things. And then for my books, it's been a lot of good positive feedback about people saying, wow, that was a story that touched me, that I never knew you could write that well, and it never knew you could engage me and tell some beautiful story that connects with me. So it's been really good positive feedback. We're still learning to write and get better at that, so we're not perfect, but it's been really good positive feedback saying that, hey, you're getting onto something. You're catching us.
Great. So, in terms of advice for like younger audiences out there, even younger writers, and those like struggling out there with writing, too, any advice for them?
Don't give up and don't be discouraged, because I know writing a novel can be scary, especially if you're going to write like a 20-chapter novel. There's no, as you're writing it, there's no satisfaction like from other people, right? People aren't reading your book. So it's really just got to be you sitting there and being dedicated to it, knowing that, hey, no one's going to read it right now. It might be 3, 4, 5, 6 months before someone reads this, but you still got to push through, because at the end, that's where the satisfaction happens. So you always got to have that end goal in mind to motivate you every day, because I know if you're not motivated by that end goal, you might kind of flounder in the middle, like, oh, why am I writing this book or whatever.
And babes, my husband says, like he said, don't give up, but he says you have to not say it'll not be good. You have to believe in yourself.
Okay, cool. So in terms of your next project for like books or any other project, so what are you guys working on, and what do you guys want to see for like the future?
Well, I have books in mind. They're just not written yet.
Okay.
But he has a great book called. He's amazing. He's the best author in the whole wide world, and he has like 4 novels out. Well, not out, but he has 4 he's working on, and his book, his latest one, actually kind of inspired me to write one, and it's going to be typed up, and his is called.
It's called Dr. Cancer. It's about a doctor who finds out that he can cure cancer by touching someone, and he can bring that cancer away from them. But what he doesn't realize until later on is that when he takes the cancer away from him, he's actually giving himself cancer.
Oh, wow.
So he realizes that he has to make that choice. Does he continue to do this knowing that he's going to die and help other people, or does he, become a little more selfish and not go down that path? So that's kind of the struggle of this story.
And I just got an idea right this very minute for a book called Cancer Years, based off his poems about and based off of the people that died, and because they all had in the family, they all have cancer, and so does his papa. But
Yeah, my grandpa right now has stage 4 lung cancer, and that's really where I got the idea from, because watching him suffer has been horrible. And so I wanted to write a story that maybe there was a doctor out there that could take away the pain and maybe even cure him. So that's kind of where that idea has come from.
But my story is more dark. It's about the death of the people and how the girl who's losing loved ones thinks about suicide to be with them, but then she meets a man and he tells her not to.
Very inspiring, very inspiring. So, final questions for any advice, like positive message you want to send out to the world out there to end the interview?
Yeah. Enjoy your writing. Even if it would never sell a single story, enjoy something that you enjoy, be passionate about it. Don't just necessarily do it for the money or anything. Just write to write. It's just like you make music. You don't have to make music to be a best-selling artist. Sometimes it's just about expressing yourself and enjoying it. Because I know when I'm writing, regardless if someone reads it, I'm having so much more fun than I would being doing, anything else really. So write, enjoy. Don't worry about everything that happens after you write, the publishing and all that kind of stuff. That's a different, that's a different part of the process. Enjoy your writing. Anything, babe?
Like what Ty said, and you may not think it when you're writing, but your books can help people. And if you can, write about your life too, along with your other books, because people want to read about you, especially if you have a disability. It can, mental or physical, can inspire people, and people can relate. And even if they don't buy your book, they'll say thank you for opening your story and being vulnerable.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on and inspiring people out there, and people I want people to support you guys. So, where are you guys located on social media? What are your tags? Social media? And you have websites?
So the Facebook, it's mcloud author for me, and hers is HR Kennedy. And then I have my website, mcloudauthor.com. That's where all my new releases, my blog posts and everything are located. It's got direct links to Amazon and everything for all the books. We're working on her webpage, and then we're working on our publishing webpage. So when that comes out, you'll see links on there to those too.
And my name on Facebook, other than HR Kennedy, my author page is Hannah Kennedy. If people with disabilities need somebody to talk to, you can contact me and I'll support you. Or if anybody is struggling with life, I'll be there to give you a shoulder to cry on.
All right. Well, thank you guys for inspiring and sharing your story. Amazing. And thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody for watching. Go support Ty and Hannah. This has been the Countless Vlogcast episode 31. You got to check it out on YouTube on the Countless Vlogcast, Facebook, Instagram, and thank you guys. All right, you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank
Have a good day. All right. Talk to you guys later.